as you can tell, I'm looking a little disheveled for various reasons. I, I wanted to start a video um, to talk about the loss of somebody that was very close to me. And as you can see, I've put it off till now for a good reason. Because it's been one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through in my life. But I'd like to rewind back to the beginning. When I was in junior high, I was really an awkward kid. I didn't, the typical junior high phase of not knowing where you fit in, not knowing really who you are yet, just kind of existing and finding things out about yourself, finding things out about life. I was pretty much a tomboy. I didn't wear any makeup. I didn't fix my hair. I didn't really do anything much than just brushing my teeth and putting on my brother's clothes. That used to really piss him off, by the way. Stealing his clothes all the time. I never had a easy time making friends growing up. I was made fun of a lot in elementary school, picked on a lot, and so by the time I got to junior high and I was starting to learn who I was, it was just awkward, I guess, for me, trying to stand out and be myself when everything in my head was telling me not to be myself, because when I was myself in elementary school, I was just made fun of. So I ended up meeting these two little balls of energy, both very sweet, adorable, goofy, happy, fun-loving twins. I didn't know they were twins at first. I had met one in one class, and then I had later met the other in another class. And we very quickly formed a very close friendship. We had the same sense of humor. We all liked the same things. And I kept those friends from junior high all the way till 26 years later, when we were, in our 40s. That's a long time to be friends with somebody. They helped me through so many things. Like, in life, I don't think they'll ever quite understand how much they helped me, but they did help me through a lot. And we would always just do dumb stuff together and listen to music together. Singing was one of our favorite things to do. We would blast, No Doubt or Sublime, or we basically wanted to be Gwen Stefani when we were younger. And we had our favorite movies and hung out a lot, got into trouble, went to parties, when we got into high school, and just, the typical high school stuff. But always throughout all of it, we were there for each other through some very difficult times. And they had some stressful events going on in their lives, and a lot of times I would just come by and pick them up in my little Mercury Capri convertible, and we would just drive around and listen to music, and I got to watch them fight over my front seat, which was pretty funny. Uh, they were both, even though they were twins, they both had really different, like, distinct type personalities. And um, I got really close to both of them. Later on in life, we were there for each other, through childbirths and weddings and um, adoptions, things like that. And you know, I had found out, like, when we were in our 20s, that one of them had she had wanted kids, and she had wanted to have kids of her own, and so she was having trouble conceiving and wanted to go in to get tested, fertility testing done to see what was going on. So her and her husband had gone in to have testing done and things like that. And when she came out, I remember I was with her that day. She came out of the clinic and she was in the parking lot, and she was talking about how she couldn't get pregnant, that she was basically infertile because she had already gone through menopause. And we were all just in shock, really, because we didn't really know what that meant. And I remember she had to have more testing done, and found out later that she had something called Turner syndrome, which is a genetic disorder in females where they're missing an X chromosome, and it can cause a whole host of physical problems, health problems, heart problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, things of that sort, osteoporosis. It can even cause a vision loss, and causes you to be a short stature, which I didn't mind because I'm only 5'1". But I know it was devastating news for her, and it was heartbreaking for me to watch her go through that, because I know that she really wanted to have kids, and it really hurt her when she wasn't able to. So she ended up going through a long period of depression over that, and eventually they tried to they wanted to adopt. They ended up adopting 2 boys, and I was really happy for her. She started taking a turn for the worse. She started really developing a lot of problems, diabetes and things of that nature. She started getting more heart problems. She ended up having to have open heart surgery. She had a heart attack. It was really, really hard to watch her go through that. I flew out there to see her and be with her through that. I remember the first time I walked into the hospital and I saw her hooked up to these wires and machines. I just had to suck it up and just be there for her, be happy for her, like, try to stay positive. I didn't want her to be sad or get scared. And we all joke about the day that I went up there to see her, because we'd kept it all a secret. Which was kind of funny, because we were debating, like, should we make it a surprise? Because if we make it a surprise, she's already got this heart condition going on. We didn't want to give her another heart attack, so. And I remember when she saw me walk in the room, she sits up straight out of her bed. Her eyes got like as big as saucers, and she was like, "No freaking way." It was so funny. We all just started laughing so hard. She was really happy to see me. I was really happy to see her too. I just didn't want to see her like that, you know? And after I'd seen her and we visited for a while, I went out of the room and just burst into tears because I don't want to see her like that, you know? Nobody wants to see your best friend go through things like that. But she made it out and she recovered. And she's so strong. Like, ever since I've known her, she just is such a strong person. Like, she can literally push through anything. She wasn't even scared that day that she went in. Like, I feel like we were all more scared for her. When I had gone up there and she had her open heart surgery, we all decided we were going to get tattoos for her, you know, to support her and what she was going through. And this is mine for heart awareness. Her twin got a huge, like, heart tattoo, literally, of, like, the human heart with, like, these awesome designs going all around it. It takes up her whole chest. It's so cool. And forgive me if there's a lot of things I skip over because I don't have the best memory anymore. A lot of things I'll push to the back of my head. It's like a protection thing I go into when I don't want to think about things. She recovered. She recovered well. You know, we thought things were gonna be better. I mean, her life was never easy. Let's be honest about that. She had to go through a lot physically, like too much, more than the average person. And once you have an open heart surgery, you're given this huge bag of medication. I remember her showing me all the pills that she would have to take now for like the rest of her life. And she would tell me about how some of them made her depressed, or they would make her upset, or they would make her sleep or not feel good a lot. And she ended up she had struggled in her marriage, and I mean, who wouldn't? Like, I remember she called me one day and she was like, "Julie, I'm just different. I'm just a different person now. Like, I used to be like so much more patient, and like," she's like, I don't have that anymore. Like, I didn't blame her, you know, like, look what she had gone through. I can't imagine going through that. I can't imagine what that must have felt like, what, like, mentally she must have gone through, like, so I had to, in the end, help her move through an entire divorce, which is devastating to watch. So hard to watch her go through that. Like, the other day I was just thinking, in times like that, it is hard for me to even be happy myself because you feel guilty that your friend is going through so much pain that you shouldn't be happy, right? Like, I still have a lot of those problems to work through, you know? But her health started declining even worse in the years to come, and she had a couple of strokes, and she really just fought so hard, you know? She would always come back. We would always be so positive with her and try to push her and try to encourage her, and she would push herself. Like, even if nobody was there to push her, she would be pushing herself. That's just the kind of person she was. She got put in some rehab facility, and one of the places she went to was really bad. They weren't treating her right. They weren't working with her. One of those kind of places that, like, if you complain, like, they'll make sure that you have a bad day the next day. You know what I mean? Those kind of pieces of shit. And I felt so helpless. I mean, she was states away, but I was always in a bad financial place. So it was very rare, if I ever got to go out there at all, to see her. Even though if I could, I would have been there, like, every single day. I hold a lot of guilt still, because I feel like in the end, I just wasn't there for her enough. I should have just been there. How do you deal with loss? Like, this is what it is. It's memories of people you care about, and the what if and could have, should have, would have parts of it that you can't seem to let go of. She ended up passing in December. I remember getting on the plane and I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go because I knew if I got on that plane, it might be the last time I ever saw her. And I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to say goodbye, but I knew I had to go. I had to be there for her and her family. As her best friend, I had to be there. I'm one of those people that just, I'll try to put things in the back of my head and not feel for as long as possible, because I know with my mental problems, I could just get swallowed alive by the pain. So, like I said, you try to push through and, like, pick up your pieces and live what as best you can, I guess. But inside, you're not the same person anymore. Like, when you have a death of somebody that's that close to you, it changes you permanently. And you're no longer that same person anymore. And you can't be. So then you have to figure out, who am I now without this person? And it's hard. I don't think anybody explains that part to you. That when she died, a large part of me died with her. But you pick on you pick up and you move on for your family, for your kids, for your parents. Even though part of you just wants to lay down and die with them. You just have to keep going. I think that's the worst part. To keep going and keep living without that person. I've had losses before, but never to this extent. You know? I've lost people I cared about, I've lost people I loved. And I was depressed for months over it. But this one was just so hard and so close to me that it changed me as a person as a whole. There were times during the end where she would call me. She called me several times a day. Just to have somebody to talk to, just to, you know. And there were times I couldn't answer the phone. Like, mentally, I just couldn't pick up the phone. When you watch somebody waste away like that, the physical decline, you know, she was just skin and bones. The mental decline. A stroke affects your brain. She always stayed herself, but, you know, not all the way. In the end, she had to have a trach put in, and she was struggling to talk and struggling just to even breathe. She had developed pneumonia a couple of times. I remember watching her go through these all kinds of crazy treatments and just trying to break up some of that gunk in her lungs so she could just even take a good breath, you know? Just makes you not want to be negative about anything in your life when you see people go through things like that. Like, just to breathe makes you never want to complain about anything ever again. Just to move, just to breathe, just to live. Like, what the fuck am I complaining about, you know? Like, I have it hard. I don't have shit hard. She ended up dating another guy, and, you know, she made him happy for a while. He made her happy, and he just ended up leaving. Like a fucking coward. I don't care what that guy says or how much he says he cared about her. You don't fucking leave somebody in that situation. And just be like, deuces out. I'm out. What the fuck is wrong with people? Like, if you love somebody, if you really care about somebody, you stay, right? You stay for the hard stuff and the the problems. You don't see somebody take a turn for the worse and then deuces out. Like, obviously, I still have a lot of issues with this, and I'm going to continue to have a lot of issues with her loss. I don't know, and this is how part of how I want to help move through it, move past it. There is no moving past it. That's bullshit. Work through this. There's no moving past it. It just is what it is. And it's going to continue to be what it is. Till I die. It's just been me and her twin, you know, trying to help each other move through this. Just watching everything that her twin has had to go through. She's losing a part of herself. I can't imagine there's any deeper loss than that. Than if it had been a mother and a child. I had gotten these tickets for the Festival of Lights, and I wanted to bring her twin, one of my best friends, Katie, and we were gonna go light a lantern in her honor. And I thought it would be great to reminisce, kind of go down memory lane and visit some of the old places we used to hang out and just remember. Just bring her back, even just for a day. But it's turning out to be so much more than that. I don't really know what else to say. I'm still moving through it. I'm still trying to get past these feelings. I don't know how many are going to go and how many are going to stay with me, but either way, it's okay. She's worth it. Yeah. Loss is a faceless monster. When you love somebody, when you love anybody, you run the risk of losing them at some point in your life. And it's not fair, and it's hard, and it's ugly. It's just something we all have to go through. I'm gonna go check on my cats now because they're very much in need of attention. If you can't hear. Probably just worried about me. So for now, I guess I'll finish this up on another time or